And we're live, episode 60.
This Life in Tech. You're the ninja.
Jason, hi. My co-host.
And I'm Dan.
And we're together in the same room. This hasn't happened in 30 episodes?
Yeah, easily 30 episodes.
Yeah, the last time we were in your office in National Harbor.
Yep. And we're also in the same state.
We're in Maryland.
Which also doesn't happen very often, even forgetting the show, just being in the same state.
That's right.
Most of the time it happens to be in Los Angeles.
But we don't film that.
Sometimes there's pictures.
So shit, man, I think it's kind of a good idea to talk about. Well, so we hit 60, and we've talked about this milestone of 100, which we're going to try and hit maybe by the end of the year if we can.
Yeah, I think we'll be pretty close. Double up.
Yeah. And it's kind of a good idea to, I think, sit back and talk about what this means to us. You know, why do we continue to... We don't...
Well, not right at the moment, because one part, we never stay consistent on our time. Or really, we should probably do this more like a sitcom. Burn out like 10 episodes real quick. The only problem is the technology changes so fast. We wouldn't be able to talk about something. We would have to change things up. It's difficult. It's difficult.
Well, and that's one of the things. I mean, so with a podcast or any kind of show, I mean, I think the sitcom is good because you have a schedule. You know when to sit down and watch it or consume it. And with something like ours, not just tech-based, but it's timely tech-based. It's not like we're running out and creating our own problems to talk about. We have to wait on other people to fuck up.
And there's plenty of that out there. That's I mean, let's say, but you ask, hey, why are we doing this? I think the important part, and this is probably for everyone out there, don't do something for someone else.
Yeah.
Do it yourself. We do this because we want to do it. We're doing it for ourselves. We enjoy this. I mean, if we were putting a lot into it, we would wind up going out and getting some a little bit more professional equipment. We might actually have a logo in the background. That's the only problem because we're traveling. Neither one of us have a green screen.
Yeah, no, there's no green screen. We're in somebody else's office at the university today.
Yeah, Mary Mother Margaret, former nun.
We invited her on.
Maybe next time. I mean, her Catholic religion prevents her from doing certain things. I mean, if she's not in her full nun outfit, I don't know.
So how was RSA, by the way?
Oh, at least I didn't see anything talking about how cybersecurity is related to an immune system. Oh, so for you all out there, I mean, we already know whenever the ninja gets on, immune systems and cybersecurity, his head spins around. And I love taking pictures of when people talk like that. There's been talks on it. I put it on LinkedIn. Almost every year at RSA can do this and put it up there. So we're all out to dinner because we're here for an academic event. And so I get one of the other professors. I coerce her into asking, hey, I read this article about how cybersecurity is an immune system. It's really interesting.
So, it makes me wonder because at least in certain circles, RSA is fairly well known to be a joke. It's a vendor parade.
Yeah.
And as opposed to something, at least in our career, like DEF CON, love it or hate it, it's organically grown based on what it is. Whereas, I've never personally gone to RSA, and I've never gone because I know what it's like there. And I just have no use for that. I don't need to talk to a vendor. So how much money do you think they spend versus how much do they get out of it? Because obviously it's like the advertisements that get shoved into your box in an apartment. They must be getting sales somehow off that.
So having been on the vendor side and being out there and going as a participant, so I've been out to RSA, I don't know how many times. I have not been to as many RSAs as I have Black Hat and DEF CON.
Mm-hmm.
But someone out there said a pretty good analogy, and I agree with this. Black Hat is now what RSA used to be, and DEF CON has now become what Black Hat used to be. RSA has just gotten worse. So here's the thing. So I don't go to RSA for the talks. All right. I have 2 days. And I don't know how many vendors are there. There's a lot. Let's say, for argument, there's 1,000 vendors. I don't know. They take up 2 entire conference halls at the Moscone Center in San Francisco. When I first started going, they only took up 1. And it was only a couple of years ago where they started using a whole nother conference or a portion of the Moscone Center. They take up north and south. They have to register in west. There's a lot going on.
Right. But it certainly attracts a lot of people.
Right. It's a time savings for me. I went out there because I have a number of problems I need to solve. And I don't want to go just for one particular vendor. I have an opportunity to go see, at most, 1,000 demos of 1,000 different companies' products, if I so wanted. I didn't, but I was looking for specific things. But what I also like, and this is one thing I'll say RSA does do well. If you're a startup, they have a whole section for you, and and you get to, at a very low cost, be able to demo your product. And they have this thing called Innovation Sandbox. Even though there's still some games being played, and most of those companies will never make it, but I pay attention to the people because at least they had an idea and they took a shot.
Yeah.
And those are the kind of people I want to chat with, and maybe keep an eye on.
That's right. Well, it's one of those things where popular opinion is only valid within the echo chamber in which it exists. So, we have a lot of common acquaintances that have a really poor opinion of RSA. And I don't necessarily have an opinion. I've just never gone because I don't typically engage with vendors that way. But for somebody like you that's more of a business leader, it makes sense to go and maximize your time expenditure so that you're not running around the rest of the year trying to find people in ones or twos and get RFPs. And so it has value, right?
Yeah.
Sure. And to me, that's kind of like the podcast in a way where, I just like showing up and talking to you.
Yeah.
And I don't really care that nobody watches. It doesn't matter to me because I'd be saying this shit to somebody anyway. It just happens to be on camera right now.
And we actually have had people watch.
Oh, we
were doing this on a more regular basis,
yeah.
Especially when we were both at Silent Circle, because then people really wanted it because they were like, oh, maybe they're going to talk something about the black phone or silent phone and silent text. Yeah, no, now they don't. They make even worse equipment. It's not FIP certified. Who's going to buy a firewall that only does IKE version 1? You can't even do NAT traversal in IKE v1.
Nope.
Why would you get what you pay for?
Yep.
So, we used to have people watch more. We had to stop for a little while. I was transitioning out to a whole another country. It seemed like third world.
In some ways,
but at least they have good whiskey.
That's true. They know how to drink. But that's why I'm looking forward to my final part of my moves coming up, and I'm going to have my own external office, like detached from the house. And part of that is going to be set up to do like legitimate. I don't want to call it a soundstage, but it's going to have soundproofing. It's going to have better acoustics, certainly better lighting and stuff like that. Because man, I think the point, and you said this earlier, and we've talked about this a lot, especially in the context of tech, but even just maximizing human performance or chasing your passion, however you want to phrase that. It's just a matter of showing up and grinding away at it and not caring what other people think, not caring how many viewers you have, just doing what you love and continuing to do it because you love doing it.
Well, and this is the way I look at it. Especially in this, people may not today care what we have to say. We've already solved your problem in 2016 that you're looking to trying to get to in 2020.
LinkedIn, which I don't typically check LinkedIn. I don't really use it to do much of anything because it's not really a use for me right now.
Well, because they're part of the known collaborators.
Yeah, that's
LinkedIn
true.
And AWS, right?
Yeah, that's right. They are.
Because LinkedIn is a part of Microsoft.
Yes, and AWS is.
Ooh, do you think that dude actually that we both know actually knows that they were bought by Microsoft?
I'm
and
sure
he's on both of those platforms.
Maybe he's a double agent. So anyway, somebody, a couple of people had made some comments, and it wasn't even me posting it. I don't post anything to LinkedIn. But they made some, I thought, cunty comments, to be honest with you. They clearly hadn't read it or really thought about it. And that's fine. I don't care. What I like, though, is that people are actually engaged in it. They don't have to have a positive opinion because I don't know that what I'm saying is correct. That's why I'm putting it out there because I want to find out what people think. But this is what I always remember. Don't forget who wrote it and who's the one making the comments.
That's very true. And this is the thing, because we talk about it, and I say some of your stuff, I'm like, dude, I think maybe you've had too much of those Peruvian cactus or something. Doesn't matter, right? Because I mean, here's the thing. You're not like you're saying this is real research. You're not saying that it's anything other than, hey, this is just what I think is going to happen. This is I believe this.
Yeah, well, it came out of conversations really with you over a beer or a scotch or a bourbon or a coffee. Maybe. But it's just putting your thoughts out there and trying to find truth as you see it. And it doesn't have to be true forever.
And this is probably the more important part. And I think a lot of people, they miss this, other than the fact that there's trolls everywhere. And I enjoy trolling. I mean, I do that to a couple companies. But having an opinion and putting it out there and letting people potentially rip it apart,
Mm-hmm.
That takes a certain amount of courage. But for people like us, and hopefully for the people out there that will probably look at this in 5 years or so and realize that we were geniuses, and still are, you can learn a lot from it. It'll help you to refine. Listen to their argument, because maybe you didn't think about it yet.
Mm-hmm.
2, you might already have a solution, you just didn't put it in there. And so in your next portion of your publication of your manifesto, the next chapter, maybe you get to address it.
That's right.
That's the part of the process of going out there and putting it out there. No one is going to become a winner without putting their idea to the populace to ridicule.
And I think, to me, that's part of what this podcast serves. Yeah, that's right. Well, the other part too is you're never going to find people that think like you unless you talk about how you think, right? And I mean, I find it as fun to be around people that I don't agree with as it is to be around people sometimes that I do find agreement with.
Well, that's good, because I don't think there's many people that agree with you, so it's a good thing that you enjoy those.
Apparently, certainly not about privacy.
Oh, but it's fun. I mean, people that if you don't want to put yourself out there, you don't take that risk, you're not going to win.
No.
And anything.
No, you'll never find that one thing that is, And so, but building things is fun. Why did we get into networking? Because I liked building things, and it was a way to be a plumber without actually being a plumber, so to speak.
Sure. I mean, I can never pronounce her name, who we were just talking with.
Oh, Garima.
All right. Mm-hmm. So she just happened to say, I disagreed with you on episode 43. What did you disagree?
I don't remember what we talked about 27 episodes ago.
All right. So even if she does, that's fine. People disagree with me all the time.
Mm-hmm.
But, maybe we should have her on. I don't think she probably won't come on.
I don't know, man. But think about this.
She wouldn't even tell me what she disagreed with. She was so scared.
Think about this, though. we have done enough of these that I can't remember what we talked about 27 episodes ago. This is number 60.
Yeah, we're getting there. But so anyway, here's another lesson out there for all you folks when we're talking about RSA. I won't put this particular organization on blast just yet.
Oh boy.
But if anything, I'm definitely a smart ass. I can be a troll. There's no questions about that. But I'm always respectful until someone is not respectful to me, or someone that I care about. I have zero tolerance for that. So any of the one out there that's you're looking to start a company and you're at an event like RSA, keep this in mind. Everyone you come in contact with is a customer. They are always a customer, or a potential customer, or they're going to become a former customer. Especially when you have a little bit of alcohol and you're not professional. This particular company did, and well,
I mean, especially in this field, man, and you never know who you're going to end up working for.
Yeah, well, not just that, but I had a conversation with one of our other colleagues today to let them know, oh, guess what? This particular vendor, you overstated your relationship with this particular organization. You said, we've been doing work there for a long time. No.
Nope. You lied and you got caught. Which, look, man, we're putting this out on the podcast. You're right. Somebody can watch this 6 months from now and be like, oh, these guys actually said that. Well, that's why you have to, as much as we have fun and goof around a little bit, I don't think we're really playing a character, so to speak. We're ourselves in our truest natural state. That's the way I look at it.
Sure.
But yeah, man, you never know who you're going to work for. You never know who knows more than you about something, which that's why, like, whether it's privacy, which I have somewhat of a different opinion on, particularly when you're putting it into a future context, or we disagree about some governmental functions. We did last week a little bit about
Yeah.
the federal government's responsibility to do certain things. If you just put ideas out there and you incorporate the feedback into it, that's how you grow. That's how you learn. And if you never talk, if you never try, you're never going to get anywhere. So how can you really be upset with where you're at? Because you're obviously not trying to get out of it.
Hey, I mean, that's the exact reason why I'm doing my MBA.
It's a means to an end. It serves a purpose.
Am I going to learn a lot in there? I mean, I'll put it like this. So I don't think anyone could argue that Kevin O'Leary from the Shark Tank has been successful. He's quite wealthy. He said the most of what he got out of his MBA was not so much the teaching, because he doesn't remember any of it. He's sure he learned something, right? But it was the people that he went there with, and how many of them were able to help each other and learn from each other, even outside of the program. And that's what became worth it to him. He knows he said, hey, I've forgotten everything that they taught. I don't remember any of it. I'm sure it was valuable. But what was more valuable was just the people that he came in contact with from that program, and they were able to help each other grow as individuals and professionals across discipline, because not everyone was in the same field. And that's part of why I plan on doing it. I don't want to be just a technologist.
No, I think it's important to always strive to be more than you are. And that obviously means something different to all of us in a lot of different ways. But I think it's important just to the growth of the species.
Yeah. And I was reading something the other day, and someone said, and it was on Twitter, be careful not to get too many degrees or too much learning. People start thinking you're just an academic.
That was on Twitter.
And I'm like, what?
Yeah. Well, and remember this, there was also, it might have been the same thing, or it was related, and it might have been indirectly related, where somebody was saying they wouldn't hire people if they had certain degrees because they were overqualified.
That's my mind.
Yeah.
If someone, I'm not gonna hire them because they seem overqualified. Even if I know they're only going to stay there for a year, that means I just got someone at a rate be 50%. They're not going, if they're a high performer and they're overqualified, they're still going to pay in which they did. That means I may have gotten 3 FTE of worth of value for 1 FTE cost. I don't care that they leave in a year. I mean, I was just able to get my program, and I'm talking about an organizational program in this context, up maybe 4 or 5 levels in that year.
That's right. Whereas this dude, I mean, this tells you everything. I have no idea who it was. And I've never heard of the company that he was supposedly the founder and CEO of. Well, stop hiring people that aren't qualified. Why? Because you want to feel superior? You want to be the king that rules the kingdom with the peasants? No, surround yourself with people that are better than you and challenge each other. Iron sharpens iron.
Hey, I want to be the king of kingdoms.
Right. Well, you need kings.
Right. I don't need just, I want people that work for me to be better than I am.
Yeah.
100%. Or that they're going to be better than I am.
Sure.
Because I'll hire you for potential. I mean, I get this with a lot of people. I no longer am in a position to where I have to be the subject matter expert.
At what? I mean,
at anything, right?
But that's my point. Everything is so much of everything else. There's no more, I'm only a network analyst. I'm only a systems guy. No, why do you think DevOps exists? Not that I'm saying I love that title, but there's a reason why those things are converging, because the technology is converging.
And it always will be.
Sure.
I mean, who was it? I think it was Andrew Carnegie that said, I always hire people that are smarter than me.
Mm-hmm.
And Steve Jobs, I think, went a little bit further and said, why would you want to hire people that are smart and then tell them what to do? Instead, we hire people smart so they can tell us what to do.
That's right. Exactly. Well, it's just like the notion that we hire people based off of a listing of things they've done, not off of our intuition and interaction with them, such that we're figuring out what they can do for us.
And this is the other part that just gets me with people hiring. I never hire someone that meets all the qualifications of what I was looking for, because then they're going to get bored. I don't want them to do. I want them to grow. I want to hire someone that's probably at that 60% mark. There's certain things I have to have, right? But I know in my mind, hey, I need you to have 60% of this And of that 60%, you've got to have this for sure.
Right.
You can learn the other things, because clearly if you could do the other 60, you probably know how to learn.
Sure. Or if not, at least you're better than half.
Hey, there's this one cat. I'm hiring him for a junior level position. And I said, all right, well, I'm going to ask you just one question, because his technical skills are really low. I mean, he's basically right out of college, so to speak. I said, all right, I'm going to ask you this question, because your skills are not quite there. If I give you a 3-month contract, no expectations, would you take it? He said, absolutely. Okay, done. I'll give him a 90 days. 90 days to prove yourself.
Mm-hmm.
His choice. He doesn't have anything right now. There's no guarantee. Those are the kind of people I want to work work with. Right.
And now Death Star is one of your best employees.
It wasn't him.
Oh, I know.
Just recently.
But yeah, man, place yourself into difficult territory, or what Sun Tzu.
He's not even close to my best.
That's Ian. What Sun Tzu called death ground. Right? You put yourself against the water, you burn your ships, and now the only thing you can do is fight.
What I want.
That's right.
Those are the people I want. And I want people that are hungry. They have a fire.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's go to war. I mean, so to speak, right? And let's just push.
Yeah.
Conquer.
Absolutely. So.
Oh, man, listen. That's a good episode, man.
Yeah.
I think we just put out a lot of information.
Yeah. This is kind of a recap.
Yeah.
We troll people, but there's some truth into it.
Always.
We are still the only people to ever predict the CIO will be fired for a breach.
Mm-hmm.
About time.
It happened.
About time. Yeah, I can't. We should have gone back through our predictions. We had quite a bit of good ones that have already come true this year.
We should do like a Inception prediction this year. Predict which ones of our predictions that haven't come true are going to come true.
That would be pretty good. We have to go back because we know which episodes those ones are.
Yeah, they're always around the new year.
Yeah, and we do this as everyone else should out there. If you're going to do something, don't do it for someone else. Do it for you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because then it becomes valuable.
Well, and use the technology to your advantage. I mean, it's like this incepted meaning to the show itself, this life in tech. I mean, can you imagine even 50 years ago, the only way you had to find other like-minded people was within your little village, so to speak. Or maybe you actually packed a few underwear into a little tiny case and traveled across the country. But then you were still localized to that place. Now, who knows? Potentially anybody, anywhere, perhaps even on other planets soon. Elon Musk, get your shit together. Let's go to Mars.
I don't think he can.
Ooh, that's bold.
I don't think he can do it.
I'll take that bet.
No, I'm saying him. I'm not sure. I mean, he's got the money to hire people to get it done.
Mm-hmm. But
it's not his ideas.
Now, this is an interesting conversation.
Yeah.
Maybe next week. All right, guys. That's the 60. A little retrospective, a little push of information, a new setting. We won't be back here. I doubt it.
Maybe.
I don't know if we're going to get to use this office again.
No. I think he doesn't have any. None.
It's a really interesting setup in here, Mary. All right, everybody.
The lock's not very good.
Well, no, that's not true because we just walked right in here. All right, everybody.
Peace.
Later.
Next week.